Once I got where I thought I was safe, I started to think, what am I going to do now? I want to serve Jesus. I want to be Jesus to anyone who will listen. I want to understand fully who this Jesus is, the one who emptied himself of his divinity to take on our humanity. I wanted to know this Jesus. So do you know what Jesus did when he started his ministry? He went to the desert, yes? That's what I did. To an area called Arabia near Petra. That's where I went. For 3 years I was there. 3 years. Every day praying to God. I said, God, please take me. I want to be as barren as this desert, and I want you to pour yourself into me. I want to be you with the Spirit to anyone who will listen to me. For 3 years, I prayed to God every day. At the end of 3 years, I decided it was time to go to Jerusalem and meet the leaders of the church. And that's what I did. So I went to Jerusalem, and I tried to meet with the leaders of the Church of Jesus, but none of them would meet with me. They all heard the stories. They were frightened of me. They thought it was some kind of a trick. So I kept trying to meet with them, to meet one of them or any of them, and they would not meet. So every day I just continued to preach about Jesus. Every day I would preach about Jesus. One day, this man named Barnabas came to me. Have you heard of Barnabas? Yeah, Barnabas, he came to me. And he was standing there off to the side, I remember, and he was watching me. And he finally came over and he says, I understand that you want to meet the leaders of the church. I said, yes, I do. He said, well, I'd be pleased to take and introduce you to one called Cephas. Do you know Cephas? No, you call him what? What's that? Peter. Yes, Peter. He says, I can introduce you to Peter. And I said, yes, that would be, I know of Peter. Yes, I do know of Peter. I would like to meet Peter. Well, he arranged this meeting. I remember like it was yesterday. It was me, it was Barnabas, and it was Peter, yes, standing right there. The first time I'm standing face to face with Peter, I'm looking into his face, and all I could think of was all the bad things I had said about him. I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking of all the bad, horrible things I had said about this man. And do you know the first thing he said? He said to Barnabas, why did you bring him here? Why would you bring this man here? This is the one who has been persecuting us. This is the one who has been responsible for the death of Stephen. Why would you bring this man here? And Barnabas said to him, no, Cephas, this is the man who Jesus came to on the road to Damascus. This is the man who I heard preach every day in Damascus. I've heard him preach every day here in Jerusalem. This man has changed. And then I spoke up and I said, Peter, you above all of them should know that when you come to Jesus, your life changes, yes? You become a different person. You know that, Peter. You know that. I've been telling the world there's no such thing as, there's no Jew, no Greek, no slave, no free, no male, no female. What was that? No. Do you remember that line? No male, no female. We are one in Christ, yes? That's what I told him. I told him I have been preaching to the world that the world is broken and Jesus has come to heal the brokenness. Well, Cephas looked at me and he smiled. And he came over and he embraced me. And I knew from that moment that I was forgiven. Well, I left. I was with him for 14 days. I left and I went back home to Tarsus. Now, when I was in Tarsus,